Well, good morning and welcome to Morning Gospel Fuel with Mr. G. Day 2 with the stash. It is Saturday, July 11th. My younger sister Katie's birthday, so happy birthday, Katie. Then it's also the feast day of Saint Benedict. And Saint Benedict is the patron saint of Europe as well as the more unique ones because he's got a lot of different things that he's the patron saint of. But he's the patron saint against poison and witchcraft and gallstones. And he's also for civil engineers, farmers, coppersmiths, cavers, monks, and a lot of other things. You can always Google them, but a lot of us might know Saint Benedict because of the Benedictine order of the monks, but then also the Saint Benedict medal and also the Saint Benedict crucifix, which are very popular in being used to deter the evils of Satan. They have different Latins, sayings on there. Anyway, today's gospel is from Matthew chapter 10, verses 24 through 33. Let's begin in the name of the Father, Son, and Holy Spirit. Amen. No disciple is above his teacher, no slave above his master. It is enough for the disciple that he become like his teacher, for the slave that he becomes like his master. If they have called the master of the house Beelzebul, how much more those of his household? Therefore do not be afraid of them. Nothing is concealed that will not be revealed, nor secret that will not be known. What I say to you in the darkness, speak in the light. What you hear whispered, proclaim on the housetops. And do not be afraid of those who kill the body, but cannot kill the soul. Rather be afraid of the one who can destroy both body and soul in Gehenna. Are not 2 sparrows sold for a small coin? Yet not one of them falls to the ground without your Father's knowledge. Even all the hairs of your head are counted. So do not be afraid, you are worth more than many sparrows. Everyone who acknowledges me before others, I will acknowledge before my heavenly Father. But whoever denies me before others, I will deny before my heavenly Father. Okay, so at the very beginning, where it says no disciple is above his teacher and no slave above his master, so Jesus is talking about leaders who are being called for the sole purpose of leading and guiding others to their potential. So we're all like humble followers and servants, and that's what the disciples are. But then he's kind of like handing them over the reins, because Jesus is talking still about his disciples and their upcoming persecution and the courage that it takes for them to continue on with the teachings of Christ, because he knows that they're going to get attacked. Then also, everything will be revealed by the end of time. So even though he's talking about things that are kind of rough, he's giving them a sense of hope at the same time. Like he says, yes, this is going to be a challenge, but then at the same time, he tells them, don't be afraid, because I know everything about you, and I know everything's going to be okay. Knowing full well that 11 out of 12 of them are going to be, put to death because of doing what they're doing. But he gives them hope by telling them that, even like the sparrows and the hairs on our head. So the sparrows, yet not one of them falls to the ground without your Father's knowledge. So if he knows everything about the birds that God created at the beginning of time, he knows everything about you, and he's going to protect you. But then also, all the hairs of your head are counted. He knows even the amount of hairs on your head, which also brings like a physical connection to you from God. So I think that that's important, that it's supposed to be words of hope and not so much fear, because clearly the disciples still did this. If we exclude Judas, of course, which he did until, he denied him, but that's a separate story. But anyway, that is, God is all-knowing. He should bring us hope and not fear. And I think the challenge today is going to be the last part from Saint Benedict in my Saints book, because I enjoyed that part today. And it talks about our spiritual leadership, I guess, and ownership. So the last part says, many of us fear old age. We worry that we will become a burden to our families and to ourselves. Although life doesn't come with guarantees, the saints encourage us not to worry what might or might not happen. They point out that even when we can no longer work physically, we can still perform spiritual labors, such as forgiving those who have hurt us, praying for others, and comforting the sorrowful. Have I ever thought of spiritual labor as real work? What kind of spiritual labors am I called to do today? No matter what my physical condition, I can pump up my spiritual muscles. Okay, have a good one. God bless and keep it real. In the name of the Father, Son, Holy Spirit. Amen.